Hey guys, Tactical Minds here, and today I want to talk briefly about the Indiana Greenwood Park mall shooting. Unless you've been living under a rock, sure most people by now know about the story. 22-year-old kid by the name of Elisha Dickin, uh, I believe. There was a active shooter that was in the Greenwood Park Mall in Indiana. I believe the death toll is at three or four. Five people shot, and would have been a lot more had it not been for, again, this Elisha, 22-year-old gentleman, hero, as he should be rightfully hailed, responding and stopping this shooter. It was a shot about 40 yards away, from what I understand. I want to say I understood he put out 9 or 10 rounds, and 8 of them were on target, which is outstanding at 40 yards. And just a great job. 15-second response time from the time first shots rang out, which is unreal. And from my understanding, it was at a food court. And I'm really happy that people are talking about this and are praising this gentleman as a hero, except, of course, for the liberal side. But I'm happy people are praising this kid to be a hero and are talking about it, because I feel like way too often we do not celebrate our heroes in situations like this, especially when this going to show that the only thing that stops a good guy with the gun, or a bad guy with a gun, excuse me, is a good guy with a gun. Obviously, that's not in every situation, as we saw in the Uvalde thing, but in this situation, it holds true, and it holds true, I believe, most of the time. I mean, there's always going to be cowards. Cowardice is cowardice. Can't do nothing about that, right? But as we always say on this channel, right? We talk about being prepared and staying safe and staying tactical and all that good stuff, right? So anyway, want to go ahead and talk about that and give a few little tips and stuff just to kind of prepare you and keep you keep you safe in those kind of situations. Before we get into it, as always, guys, please if you like the video, like, comment, share, subscribe. We say it every time, right? All that good shit. It really does help boost the videos on YouTube. Sometimes don't get a lot of likes on there. They just don't show it much. Also, please go to the Facebook and check out the new podcast. It's on Spotify currently. We're getting ready to upload episode 3 this weekend. Tactical Minds Raw and Unfiltered. Again, I'll put a link in the description. Check it out if you got some time. Really appreciate it, guys. So let's go ahead and get into it. So as I said, 40-yard shot, that's incredibly that's a challenging shot for a lot of people, even people that do shoot, even guys that in law enforcement. I mean, a 40-yard shot with a pistol is it's a somewhat challenging shot, and especially when you're taking rounds in return, it definitely ups it a lot more. If you guys haven't been in a situation where you're in a fight or flight situation and your adrenaline's pumping and stuff like that, your gross motor skills and your things like that go out the window. So dexterity in your fingers and lots of things like that, things like auditory exclusion and things like that, all play into it. Okay, you're not going to be something I always tell people, right? I mean, you're not going to be, you could sit there and put holes in paper all day long. You're not going to be that same calm shooting stance and the same way when you're responding to something and there's actually rounds coming back at you. And again, that's going to go into, so lesson 1, right? Train. I know I say it all the time, but train. You got to train. Most people only have, one weapon that they conceal carry, unless you're somebody like me and, a lot of others out there as well, where you do own several different firearms. But the matter is, whether you own 10 firearms, 1 firearm, whatever, is train with what you got. I've said before, and I'll say it again, you can take a $10,000 weapon and put it in the hands of a untrained man, or take a $200 weapon and put it in the hands of a trained man. That trained guy with that $200 gun is going to outshoot the other guy all day long. Training is key. So whatever weapon you have, whether it's a Glock, a Ruger, whatever, you got to train with it. You got to train often with it. Okay. You got to go out to the range and, try and get to an outdoor range as well. Don't just sit there and static shoot on paper all day. Try to do more shooting drills where you're moving and shooting and do different things. You got to train with your weapon. Next thing is situational awareness. Got to be aware, right? Because you don't want to get yourself caught in a situation where, shots go off or something happens and your pants are down and you're not fucking prepared at all, right?
I tell you the truth, I'm a little confused by your tactic.
So having situational awareness, you want to make sure that you're paying attention to what's going on around you. Okay. Again, this, young gentleman, within 15 seconds of the shots breaking off, he was able to respond. That is very fast, very good situational awareness, very quick response time. Quicker response time than a lot of law enforcement. And you guys know on this channel, I've always preached, don't sit there and wait for law enforcement. You got to be able to protect yourself. You got to be able to take care of yourself. So very quick response time. And, with situational awareness, a lot goes into that. And one of the main things, and I've said in this channel before, is, paying attention to what's going on around you, watching people around you. I'm not saying you have to be staring everywhere at all times, but, just having awareness of what's going on, right? Maybe getting out of your phone for a minute. I mean, you can look at your phone when you're home, look at your phone when you're on the shitter. There's plenty of time to look at your phone. When you're walking and you're out in public, you can do without looking at fucking Facebook for 15 minutes. Okay. I promise you. I'll even go as far as to say, don't watch these videos when you're out in public. Okay. Wait till you get home to do it. But anyway, situational awareness is a big one. So just have aware, of what's going on around you again. So you're not, caught in a situation where you don't understand what's going on. And then all of a sudden shots break out and you're still sitting there like a fucking idiot. Right. Next thing, obviously, carry. Carry. I tell you guys all the time. If Indiana, where this gentleman was carrying, he had a constitutional carry, I believe they have in Indiana. So if you have if you don't know what that is, basically, if you legally can own a firearm, you legally can carry a firearm. The state of Ohio, I know, has just recently gone to that as well. And I'm not sure what other states are going that way, but I would like to see more states going that way. But constitutional carry, right? So he was carrying, and like I said, carry everywhere. And again, just going into that real quick, I know there's some people that want to destroy the narrative of this kid and want to say things like he was breaking the law and stuff like that. He wasn't breaking the law. Indiana, like I said, has constitutional carry. He was carrying within his constitutional right. The mall where he was at, the Greenwood Park Mall, has a policy that you're not supposed to carry firearms in there. But that's breaking the mall policy. That's not breaking the law. He wasn't breaking the law. He was upholding it at the time. And I would even go as far as to say that if you were in an area where it was possibly deemed at the time that you weren't 100% like well within, the policies and regs and all that good stuff. I promise you, if you save lives, you're probably going to be okay on the back end. And, as I've said before, right, better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6. So carry everywhere you go. When you're going out, I mean, there's no excuse. They make holsters for everything nowadays. They make, band holsters to put it over your stomach. They make holsters for everything. So whether you're wearing shorts or jeans or whatever, you don't have to dress like Tactical fucking Tommy going out there. Okay. You don't have to be wearing all this gear and, your 5'11" pants and all that stuff. You can be comfortable, but just carry with you, everywhere you go. Next thing, know your gear and train with your gear, right? So again, something I always talk about, right? Holsters. What type of holster are you carrying, right? Whatever type of holster you're carrying, train with that holster. Wherever you are carrying it, whether you're carrying it, appendix, small of your back, carrying it, at your 3 o'clock, wherever you're carrying this thing, train with it. Train. If your appendix and you got to draw up your shirt before you can punch out and stuff like that, train. Train with what you're carrying, train with where you're carrying. And for guys that are in law enforcement, and you're carrying off duty, train with your off-duty holster, train with your off-duty weapon if that's different from your duty weapon. Train. Know your gear. Know what shirt you're wearing that day. Okay, maybe that shirt, if you're coming from appendix carry or a 3 o'clock, I personally like to carry it to 3 or small on my back. I don't have an appendix, but know your outfit you're wearing that day. Maybe if you're wearing a long sleeve button-up shirt that's hanging out, maybe appendix carry, it's going to get caught up on that a little bit. So again, when you're doing your training, train with different outfits, but know your gear. And along with knowing your gear is know the situation that you're going to be going into, right? So whenever I go to a movie theater, I always carry a weapon-mounted light on, my firearm. I always carry a firearm with a weapon-mounted light, right? Because again, going into a movie theater, I know it's going to be dark. I know it's going to be dark during the movies. And I know if somebody comes in and starts firing, I want to have some type of light to, one, give me a tactical advantage, obviously, two, be able to see what the fuck I'm shooting at, right? So, know your gear, know what you're carrying that day. Next thing that goes into that, always carry additional rounds. I've said this 100 times before, okay? These little pit bull mag carriers, okay, they don't cost a whole lot to get. I think they're like $30. It's one little clip you put on your belt. It's very slim line. It'll take any size magazine and go ahead and hold it in there, okay? Carry extra rounds, okay? Again, going with knowing your gear, right? Because a lot of guys, know the weapon you're carrying. If you're carrying something small, if you're carrying like the Springfield Hellcat or a SIG P365 or a little Ruger LCP, know what you're carrying, know your round count. Because, if you're carrying a weapon that only has 10 rounds, I probably want to have two backup magazines as opposed to just one. If you're carrying one with 15 or 20 rounds, maybe one backup magazine is fine for you. But have backup mags, know your round count, know if you're going into a situation where you're going to need some type of light to identify your target or give you advantage. Know your gear, know where you're going. That's going to help you stay up and be prepared. The next thing is going to be have a plan. This young gentleman was with his girlfriend. As I understand, she was some type of medical assistant or aide. I don't know if she was a nurse or what have you, but she was actually going to help render medical aid. And when the shooting kicked off, he actually told her to get to the side, right? Have a plan with your family, okay? If you're going out with the wife, kids, have a plan to tell them that if something kicks off, get to safety, get out the door, get wherever, let your spouse, your significant other, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, let them know, hey, don't be coming up to me and don't be trying to help me. At that time, you need to focus on the threat, make sure they're getting out and getting to safety, but have that plan in place so that if you go there and you hear shots kick off or something go down, you're not, again, just caught off guard and have no idea what to do, right? So have a plan for that. The last thing is going to be, and a very important thing as well, is going to be, your interaction with law enforcement, right? Everything went great with this kid. The police over there hailed him as a hero, again, as they should. I'm very happy to see that. We always want to hail our heroes. I'm tired of hearing us hail these fucking assholes that are actually doing the mass shootings because, a certain political party wants to put them up on a fucking pedestal so that they can push their gun control narratives and stuff like that. And if you want to hear more about that stuff, again, check out the podcast. There's a lot more on that. We're a little bit more descriptive on that. That's why it's raw and unfiltered, not so much for YouTube. But, I'm glad they hailed them because I'm tired of them, like I said, hailing these fucking scumbags that go out there and shoot up people. I'm glad that for once they're talking about the good guy and not the bad guy, not the piece of shit. Okay. But going back to what I said, your interactions with law enforcement. Okay. So understand when you do, get into that situation, he did kill the shooter. So when you do, and you get in that situation, put someone down, understand you're doing a good job. You're doing a good thing. You're saving lots of lives. It's still a homicide. So you have to understand that law enforcement is going to be responding, okay? And you have to know how to interact with them because you've put down the shooter, you've done the great thing. Now you have to take it to, that resolution, and you have to, make sure that side of it goes well, right? So make sure, you put the shooter down, whatever, make sure as law enforcement shows up on scene, again, understand when they get there, they don't know what they're dealing with. They know that there's a shots fired, possibly called. There's possibly, somebody armed at the scene, at this case in the mall or whatever. They know that there's a crazy situation. They're coming in there, not wanting to get shot. They're in that moment too, and they don't know who the bad guy is, right? They're getting all the information they can from 911 and from dispatch on their way there, but when they arrive, they don't know who is there. So again, you shoot. Make sure you secure the weapon. Make sure you put it down. Make sure your hands are up. Make sure everything is visibly shown here. If you have some type of ID, have it shown here. You want to have your hands here. Don't have them down here. Don't have your hands right here, chest level, right? Like I've said before, everything chest level. When law enforcement comes in, they are scanning. They're looking at hands and they're looking at center mass, right, to stop a threat. So you always want to have stuff center mass, chest level. You want to have it here. So when law enforcement comes in, it's the first thing they see, and they don't deem you as a threat. You don't want them to confuse you for being the bad guy, right? So again, do your thing, secure your weapon, hands, chest, everything visible for law enforcement to see, and just understand like I said, when they roll up on the scene, they don't know what they're coming up with. They don't know that you're the good guy or you're the bad guy. So just comply, do with what they say. You're a hero, and you're going to be later on. But at that time, it's not to fight and argue and, hey, I'm the good guy. I'm the good guy. Wait a minute. No, just, secure your weapon, hands up, do what they say, let them sort it out. And then later on, the story will come out. So again, great job with this gentleman. Hopefully you guys learned a little bit of something from that. This was a really good example of, again, a good guy stopping a bad guy. I'm really happy to see it. I know it pisses off a lot of liberals out there and a lot of Democrats that want to push this anti-gun narrative and, want to say that this kid wasn't a hero. People that want to say he's not a good Samaritan because he killed the bad guy. I'll tell you what, that's a good Samaritan. The kid did an awesome job, killed that fucking bad guy all day. And I hope his girlfriend took care of him at the end of the night for that. But great job. Really happy about that. That's the video, guys. Hope you learned something from it. Hope you take something away from it. Always, like I said, guys, carry, know your gear, train, be prepared, stay safe, stay tactical, stay dangerous, stay strapped. Hope you guys have a great day. Thanks a lot for watching. Catch you next time.